Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will learn about JavaScript, DOM and its dynamic events. Till our previous video, we have learned all the different types of events and how to handle that events from your HTML into JavaScript. But in this video, we will learn how to add the events to a particular button virtually. That means dynamically from the JavaScript, not by using on click events, not by using on change event on the DOM element. Instead, we will use document API and we'll add our dynamic events onto the or HTML elements. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. For example, in our previous video, we have learned about on click events. Let me consider one button and I'm having some handler for this button. So on click is equal to some handler and which are static handlers which we defined in the HTML. And now what we'll do is we'll not create anything on our HTML content. Instead, we'll create our HTML content via JavaScript. For example, let me go here and create a button element and let me create document.getElement or create element of I'm creating a button element and let me use btn element dot type is equal to button type and btn element dot I'm using a inner HTML something called as dynamic button. Now you have created a button and let me append this button to my body content. So I can use document dot body dot append child of btn element. So let me save this, go to the browser and reload. You are able to see this dynamic button. But if you inspect this and see the console, and whenever you click this button, nothing is happening. That means no handler is present for this button, but that button is on our HTML DOM element. So now let me add some event handlers for this button. How to add that event handlers? We have something like called as add event listener. We can add a listener which will take three parameters actually speaking. The third parameter is an optional parameter. We'll learn about it in the upcoming videos. For now, we'll concentrate only on the two particular handlers. One is the handler what you want to handle on a particular element. Now I want to handle a click event and it should have a callback function which will be called whenever this particular click event is invoked. So let me use an arrow function and inside this arrow function let me write console.log of button clicked. And now this event handler should be added on my button element itself. So let me use button element dot add event listener and let me save this, go here and reload, and when the user clicks on the dynamic button you can see this button clicked and let me click again, you can see button clicked. So this is a dynamic event which has been added for our DOM element called as button element. But whenever you want to remove this event listener, how to remove this? But before that, you need to know why to remove this add event listeners. Event listeners are the listeners which will be running in the background of a browser. So how to remove it? When the user clicks on this add event listener, that is a button element, this console will be printed in your console.log. And let me go here, reload, and when I click on dynamic button clicked, and when I click this button clicked is still calling. But whenever you are adding some event listeners to your button element, whenever they are not needed, we can even remove them. So for that removal, what I can do is just remove this and create this listener as one function. So let me use button listener and paste here. So my listener is created. Let me copy this and paste here. So just I'm moving that particular arrow function into a separate element and I'm calling that as a button listener. That button listener I'm pointing to this add event listener. Let me go here and reload. When I click on the dynamic button clicked. So if you want to remove this event listener, that means whenever I click something on that button it should not do anything, then in that case what we can do? So we can do a remove listener. That means btn element dot remove event listener of which event I want to remove. I want to remove a click event and then I want to remove this particular method, that means this listener. Let me save this and go here and reload. When you click on this dynamic button, nothing is happening because it is invoked immediately once after add event listener is triggered. So instead what I'll do is I'll write set timeout, and which will take a function, and inside this function let me post this button element, and let me give 5000 milliseconds and write one console inside this timeout, console.log of inside a timeout. So in this case, what it does is first till 5 seconds of this execution, we can click that button and that button will invoke this particular listener. But after 5000 milliseconds, then remove event listener will be called and this console will be printed. Once that remove event is called, then we cannot click that button and this console will not be invoked. So go here and let me reload. Let me click this button. How many times I'm clicking, I'm getting button clicked. Once I get this inside a timeout, that means event listener has been removed for my button. So when I click on this button, nothing is happening. That means whenever you call remove event listener, then that button or that a specific UI will not be having that event listener on top of that DOM. And also, I want to let you know about Techzette. Techzette is a platform on Medium where you can learn all the backend stuff. Mainly, it is focused on the Adobe Experience Management, Magento, as well as OSGI, along with the basics of Java. And you can see this link framework completely. So just have a click on the link below in the description and have a look on this Medium blog. If you like, please like, share, follow Medium blog. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.